Hi my loves, I am back today with a tutorial with Luba. I don't know if she reminds anybody besides me of anyone, but I think I want to do a get the look Kim Kardashian on her, maybe. What do we think? Yeah? Okay. So here's my thing about Kim Kardashian. I think the girl is beautiful, and I think that she wears way more makeup than she needs to. This look is super hot. And I'm going to show you how to tone it down a little bit. So we're going to do basically a get the look in your way. Like just the little tricks that you can do to pull off a Kim look, but tone it down a little bit. So I'm going to start. We just have moisturizer on Luba right now. I'm going to start with the eyes as I always do. I'm going to start with concealer just on her eyes. I'm going to use my favorite Clear to Peau. Really a lot of coverage, great texture. I'm just going to put it directly on her lids and brow bone. I'm going to use a primer. I'm actually going to use my favorite, which is Urban Decay Primer Potion. Again, it's maybe not something so good on brown girls just because it has a pigment to it. Can probably turn some lids a little ashy. Somebody like in me and Luba's family, it's great on. So I'm just going to close. I'm just going to tap some of the primer and you see that it's a clear. I'm going to be doing this eye that Kim has, which has kind of like a lot of gold and brown tones to it. And I'm going to use this Mally palette, which is my favorite. It's City Chic in the Buff. It is basically just a string of neutral shadows, and I've actually reviewed it on the site before. You can find a review to it. There's a link to it right below this, so you can check that out. She kind of has like a gold lid. She has kind of like a nudie brown crease, and then she has a kind of a bright highlight, which was kind of like her signature look for a while on the inside. So I'm going to kind of live maybe in these four colors. So I'm going to start on the inner corner with the brighter highlight color. So kind of into the tear duct. I'm just going to have her close. Just on the very inner corner. I'm not going any higher than her natural crease, which is that hollow where her lid stops. I'm going to take the more of a gold shade, which is kind of like what's on the bulk of Kim's lid in that picture. And just go all the way across, starting at the outer corner and kind of blending into what we already laid down. Going almost all the way across. I mean, if you look at the picture, the gold goes all the way across. I just like to lay the lighter color down first so that this kind of does your blend out work for you. If you lay down the lighter color, like you see how the gold almost washes out into the white. I'm going to stick kind of in this warm shade first, I think, just into her crease to blend out these colors. You never want to really go too ashy in the crease. You may find that you like an ashier color. For me, I prefer a warmer color in the crease. I'm using this brush because, again, we're being very precise. Her crease is very naturally defined, so I'm literally going to take the brush, you can either close or look down, and I'm going to go right into her crease. And it's a very obvious crease on her. You should be using a small brush to apply makeup and then use a blender to move it around. Yeah, that's a good tip because I think a lot of people will take just their blending brush and dip it in the color and just sweep it.
I've totally done that.
Absolutely, and I've done it too, especially when I'm in a hurry. But really, like if you're being precise, the blending brush is strictly to blend. So I'm laying color with another brush and blending with my blender. And you can see how adding that warm matte color has sort of picked up the warmth and the gold on her lids, but just kind of created some definition. I'm going to switch now to just a slightly browner shade. I'm really building some dimension in her eye. Like I said, the way to really achieve a Kim look is to focus on your eye. I'm going pretty much over what we did, maybe not as far across anymore. The darker we get, the more I'm going to concentrate it on the outside of her eye. And that's going to give you that beautiful almond shape that she naturally has, Kim naturally has. Her signature is a smoked out eye, whether it's light browns, dark browns, black and gray, whatever it is, like her signature look is a smoky eye. So we are smoking these shadows out. Now I'm going to go in with the dark color, again with the pointing brush, working light to dark. Tap it, we don't want a lot of that. I'm going to go right into her corners. Again, always better to build up than have to try to take off. And you can already see how the light to dark is happening on her eye. but there's no harsh lines. I'm gonna line the top of her eye. This is also like a continuation of how to smoke out the eye a little bit. I'm gonna use this Nars pencil. It's called Larger Than Life. The color Via Veneto. It's the best pencil. It does not move. It's a black twist up, so it's self-sharpening. You can always like warm it up on your hand a little bit. That just kind of gets it gliding. I'm gonna line, and you don't have to be so precise when you do this. You do want to keep it thin, but it doesn't have to be super precise like you're working with a liquid liner, because we're gonna smoke it out a little bit. So I've laid down the pencil, and I'm then going to take a small pointed blender. This one's a really pointed blender. It's a Bdellium 716. I'm going to have her close again. And I'm just going to kind of smudge out the black, just to kind of give a little bit more smoky dimension. Lancome liner design in black fishnets. A million brands make this product. It's a black gel liner. I like the Lancome. It's really black. It's really... okay, it's moist. I hate that word, but it's moist. It moves nice on your eye. And I'm going to use just an angled brush. So now what I'm going to do is start at the outer edge and just kind of work at an angle. And the reason I like this angle brush is because you see this what a straight line I'm getting. So obviously a Kim look is humongous lashes, and we love lashes. Kim's lucky enough actually to have some crazy lashes. Most of us need a little help. I'm not going to use insane lashes on her. We never want to go too thick. You don't want to go too big for your eye. I'm going to use some really fluttery. These are 213. They start shorter, get a little longer. That will help with your almond shape. They're pretty fluttery, not too thick. You don't want them to look like tarantulas or anything like that. So while that's drying, I'm actually just going to go over her cat liner with a flat pencil, a flat brush, and just some black shadow. I'm going to go back in with the pencil. Kim pretty much generally always lines her waterline. She has huge dark eyes, so does Luba, so she can take the inner dark liner. So I'm going to have her look up. How do the lashes feel? My big secret for looking Kim-ish is to really focus on your concealer, and then you can just do a really light wash of foundation. So I'm going to try to thin it out a bit on my hand, warm it up, and I'm using a pointy, this is like a dual fiber brush as well. And I like the pointy just to get in the corner of her eye. I'm going to have her look up. I'm going to go right in her inner corner, all the way across. You see how much concealer we've laid down. That's your Kim secret right there. I'm gonna take my favorite sponge, the Beauty Blender, pointy end, and we're gonna really work this. The Kevyn Aucoin, like I said, the Sensual Sanitizer is super thick. So we're really gonna work this in. To further highlight just the center of her face, just take your light highlight color, kind of down the middle, a little bit of a halo in the middle of your brows, down your nose, upper lip, chin. Don't worry, we're not going to leave her this bright, but this first step is like your key to Kim. I'm now going to take a darker foundation. You don't want to use too warm of a color to contour, so I think I'm going to actually use the Almond on her. I'm going to just take it. We're basically going to paint some tribal marks on her face right now. I'm going to find the hollow of her cheek, which basically starts from the top of her ear and goes down. I'm going to basically just draw like a straight line here. So this is how we're going to get this super Kim contour. And I promise we're going to go to a light foundation after this. Temples, you want to contour a little bit. I'm going to take Calvin Klein foundation in 500, which is this one. It's a liquid foundation. It's very sheer. And that's how we're going to kind of lighten this look up. It's a darker color than her natural tone, but she's very tan. And I'm basically going to just go over what we did. And you see how when you just go over, you kind of maintain the highlight and the contour that you did, but you don't really, you don't see the stripes anymore. So once we've blended out all that concealer, you see that the middle of her face is super bright, and we still maintained the darker foundation around, but now the lines aren't as clear. We still need to do like some contour to get dimension back into her face, but first I'm going to powder her. So I'm going to use the lightest CK powder first, which is 100 Porcelain, just to maintain that super bright under eye. I'm going to have her look up. Using a small fluffy brush, it's the 940 from Bdellium. Whenever you're going under your eye, just try to use smaller, pointier brushes. And then I'm going to take the powder that actually corresponds to her foundation, which is the 500 in the tan, and just lay that over the rest of her face. Just a set, really. I'm just using a really soft, fluffy brush. I'm going to use the Cargo Matte Bronzer. This is actually the medium I grabbed, but I'm going to use dark on her because she is pretty tan. And I'm going to show you guys a trick that makeup artists will probably clutch their pearls at, but I don't really care. I'm going to pick up the bronzer on a fluffy, pointy brush, and I'm going to take a sharp edge. In this case, a random card. You can use a business card, an envelope, a piece of paper. I'm going to turn just so you can see. I'm going to hold it right where I want it, which is that's going to kind of be the hollow of her cheeks. I'm going to start at the back so that you lay more color close to the hairline. And I'm going to gently bring it forward. Not really any further than like the outer edge of her eye. Really even before that. You're going to have a very sharp line. It does not matter. Because you're just going to take another brush and just kind of buff that line out. But you're going to get that sharp Kim contour. So that's my little random trick that's not really a makeup professional trick, but it's a nice trick to get this Kim look. I'm not going to go too crazy on the contour. Luba's nose is already pretty slender and defined. I'm just going to kind of narrow out her tip a little bit. I want to now take, just to like warm up her cheek a little bit, I'm going to take another bronzer that has more of a shimmer to it. This is the Calvin Klein. You could just do one bronzer if you want. It's nice over tinted moisturizer. I do one bronzer on myself personally, and it works fine for the contour. I'm just going to go in now and do the finishing touches all over. Starting underneath her eye, I'm going to go back to my Mally palette. I'm going to take the Mally palette again, go back to the gold that we used on her outer lid and a pointy brush, and just kind of have her look up and smoke out the bottom a little bit. Going to fill in her brows just lightly. She has dark brows. Kim has dark brows. Ironically, even though Kim is super beat all the time, her brow looks really nice and natural. So we're going to maintain that on Luba as well. I'm going to just give her mascara. This is Lancome Hypnose. Look down. This is Gaeity from Nars. I'm going to use a bristle brush. I'm going to have her smile. And I'm going to apply it more, smile. Apply it just more to the apples. Don't run it too far up the cheek. That's very 80s looking. You just want to bring the life kind of back in the front of her face. What I like to do, especially with a look like this where we've gone with such a heavy, bright concealer, is to just take like a giant fan brush and just to blend her face. I mean, I'm literally just gonna, all the lines just go away. So for the lip, I'm gonna use 3 colors. I'm gonna use a liner, MAC Strip Down. I'm gonna use my favorite pinky nude, which is YSL. It's number 2 from the Rouge Volupte. I don't know what the color's called. There's like a color name on the box, but it's like not on the label. I don't know why they do that, but anyway. And I'm going to use a color that I actually know is Kim's favorite pink gloss. It's Nars Turkish Delight. It's a beautiful baby doll pink. So what I'm going to do first is use a lip brush. You could apply directly from the tube, but I'm going to apply the lipstick first. You never want to apply your lip liner first because you're going to get a really harsh line unless you're like mixing colors. But if you're going to do this kind of 3-dimensional lip that Kim has, and she has like really pretty plump lips, always do your lipstick first. And then to kind of plump the lips up and give them a 3-dimensional look, you're going to do the same concept we did to highlight and contour her face. We're going to highlight and contour her lips. So this is the contour. To create a shadow, kind of use a nude pencil. We're not doing a visible lip line. That is never a cute look, but when you use a color lip liner that's pretty similar to the lipstick, it's going to kind of do that same principle as we have on her face. and kind of blend down. Just gonna take a little bit of this good old Turkish Delight that I'm at the bottom of because I use it on everybody all the time. Keeping it more centered in the middle of her pout. That's gonna give you like a really plump look, shine in the middle. Anytime that you feel it's messed up, I mean, you can always go in and tap with your fingers if you feel like it's too much, whatever you want to clean up. Don't forget that your fingers are a great tool. So that's it. That is our Kim Kardashian Super Bowl party get the look. Toned down a little bit, not such a heavy foundation, even though we did go kind of crazy with concealer. What do you think? She totally looks like Kim, right? Totally. She doesn't think so. But yes, totally. Anyway, hope you guys liked it. Bye.